All right, I'd like to call the Forestville Town Board monthly meeting to order September 18th, 2023 at 6:30 PM at the Forestville Town Hall. Can I get a roll call?
Kevin Gillett,
Here.
Larry Huber,
Here.
Jason Klahach,
Here.
Dina Schmidt.
Here.
I'm Ruth Kirscher, and with Lauren Eker,
Here.
Chuck Schley. Here, okay, and Joe Bader is also here.
All right, thank you. Can we do a pledge of allegiance real quick? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, verification of public notice.
Yes, it's posted on the website and also on the town hall bulletin board.
Perfect.
Updated and there's also a notice on the website, the
Yes.
meeting ID changed. So it's all fixed.
Okay, perfect. Approval of agenda.
I don't see anything needed to be changed in order. This is good. I make a motion, we accept the agenda as presented. I second that.
All right, I have a motion to accept the agenda as is and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, it carries. Approval of meeting minutes from August 21st of 2023 monthly meeting. Everybody happy?
Right.
I've seen it all. Yeah, I didn't see anything that needed to be changed. in it.
No, I think it's all good.
I make the motion.
Okay, I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion to accept the August 21st, 2023 meeting minutes and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, it will carry. Treasurer's financial report.
The cemetery checking, we have $77.07. Cemetery perpetual care, we have $11,649.70. Cemetery savings, we have $1,901.37. Town checking, we have $1,137.43. The money market, we have $118,995.88. And the LGIP, we have $121,574.56.
No receivables?
And I am still working on the last part of the tax. The taxes coming in, I don't know,
You're still on.
I just gotta find a time to, without being interrupted.
Oh, really? How do you find that?
Yeah,
How much are you off, like,
it's like $300 and some.
that could be the garbage or
Yeah, I just gotta go back and figure out where.
somebody didn't pay garbage, maybe.
Okay, and that's, we still have 37,000 in the ARPA.
Yep.
And we paid the last.
Actually, that's, the last one wasn't taken off, it should be like 26,000.
Oh, what didn't get taken off?
The last report that was sent in,
Okay,
yeah, so I'll give you that
Yeah.
I was
number.
gonna say
Okay.
the ARPA, we do the ARPA. report,
Yes,
yeah.
remember, we had so much trouble with that, yeah.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
It was fun.
okay. Then,
Yeah,
just
that's
let
why
me
I
know what that
questioned
is,
that
and I will.
because
Yeah,
I
it was
thought
like-
the report we sent in was less than that.
Yeah, because it was 8,800 for the siding, that down payment, and then some other
Some additional
couple
stuff, yeah.
thousand for, yeah.
Right,
I'll have to give you the new number on that one,
right.
when I left my folder at home, otherwise I would have had it.
Okay,
Other than that,
Here in-
open question, I would make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Second time.
Okay, I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, it will carry. Do we have anybody online, Brian?
No, we
Okay,
do not.
item 6 is public comment. We don't have anybody online. Anybody in the crowd? All right, hearing none. we will move on. Correspondence, I have not received any. I've had phone calls and some questions on land and can they build, can they not? And answered everything I can answer and
I just have two things. I forwarded to the board, the dates for the criminal and traffic intake.
Yeah.
That has changed. I think you got one too, Jay?
Yeah, okay.
And then I received the notice of shared revenues. Last year was 44,569, and this coming 2024 original estimate is 95,473. So that's a nice increase. Otherwise, years ago is always an increase or a decrease of $5 or $6. That was it, so. that's
What
good.
is that, that includes that new 1% sales tax piece
I believe so,
from
yeah.
the state?
Mhm.
Because that's pretty significant.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's all I have in correspondence.
okay. Perfect. Now, we're gonna move down to item number 8, which is the Southern Door Fire Department report. But at the same time, I know right after this is item 15, which is the Southern Door Fire Department appointee of director and to go over the bylaws. So I would kind of like to do those
Together.
together, if everybody can accept that. So we'll start with the report from Lauren.
All right, our last meeting was September 13th, held at the salt station. The treasurer reported $29,840.80 in our checking account. $383,479.35 in our Nicolay money market account. In the Capital Credit Union money market / CD, $50,395.14. For a grand total of $463,715.29. In the chief's report, he reported 8 fire calls, had some interesting ones this past month. August 10th, 264 Old Krieger Road, smoke detector was going off and no smell of smoke, determined that the smoke detector was 22 years old and recommended it be replaced. August 11th,
Or at least a better.
August 11th, Emerald Drive, power lines down. This was the Friday night of the fair, but there was a thunderstorm like 10 o'clock at night. We provided traffic control, blocked off the road and rerouted traffic. August 12th, almost downtown Forestville, Highway 42 motorcycle versus car accident. We provided traffic control and roadway cleanup. A lady was backing out of her driveway and didn't see the motorcycle going. August 25th, County U illegal burning complaint. Burning permit holder had left before the fire was out. The permit holder was told to return to the fire until it was out. August 30th, State Highway 4257 at County MM, 2 vehicle accident with road blockage. Patient care and traffic control and road cleanup. September 4th, Park Drive Shores, smoking pellet stove. It was a 92-degree day and this pellet stove was started with fire department disconnected the power to the pellet stove and advised the occupant to notify it was an Airbnb. September 5th was the Rowley's Bay Resort fire up north. We provided Mavis to Sister Bay for the fire, provided 2 tenders, a squad and a chief. Every Door County Fire Department, Kewaunee County Fire Department, and even a couple as far away as Wrightstown responded to that fire.
Wow.
September 6th, State Highway 42, 2 vehicle head-on collision. We provided patient care, detour traffic and road cleanup. This is the accident involving the Brettles and Before we do, which we made one for, so. So 8 fire calls, 19 EMR calls. The chief reported that training in September was with ladders and small equipment was held at the North Station. And a brand new app called Chief 360 is now in service at the South Station. It's the app that the firefighters get on their phones. We're doing a trial basis on this for now. Chief did a promotional video as a follow-up with the Capital Credit Union. Folks from the fireman's picnic. They possibly could get some PRs or some video in the upcoming future commercial or so on, or some kind of promotional material for Capital Credit Union. A media event was held with the Department of Safety and Professional Services on September 6th, highlighting the 2% fire dues program and how we use it. So Chief Olson did an interview. There were some TV stations there doing that. The split of the department officially takes effect on 12/01 on September 28th. And the new Mavis cards go into effect on September 27th at 10 p.m. The difference between the Mavis cards and the startup date is there's a shift change at midnight. So they want to do the official time that Nassau would be their own department would be at 10 p.m. on the 27th. So. Fire prevention education at Southern Door is scheduled for October 13th with an open house at the South Station in Forestville on October 14th. And the picnic date is already scheduled for July 27th to 2024 of next summer. In all other matters authorized by law, Terry McNulty gave an update on the final settlement split numbers with the townships with Nassau. We went through the budget numbers. You have them in front of you. If you look down, one of the lines is money taken from reserves
On which report?
which should be on both.
On one?
Yeah, the very top section.
Oh, okay, transfer from.
Transfer from reserves.
Yes, okay.
The total there is $85,264.71. Our truck payment, if we didn't have the truck payment, which our truck payment per year is $89,415, a difference of $4,150. That's how close we are right now on the budget with settling. If we didn't have the truck loan, we would be operating in the black, and right. So. We decided to go with sealed bids on old engine 906. We've had some interest in the past on selling this truck and some current interest. So we decided to go with some sealed bids. The bids are due October 10th, the day before our next monthly meeting. So we're gonna have a bid opening if there's any interest. Chief has put it out to the statewide chiefs email association or whatever. So every fire department in the state, every chief in the state will be alerted that we have a truck for sale. And the other members are Russell's Union, Gardner, and Nassau. We're both interested in the truck. Annual meeting is September 27th, 6 p.m. in Forestville. You're all welcome to attend. And then one last thing, Ruth, can I get a copy of the resolutions that was signed that the monies from the split will be held in escrow? Do you have a copy of that form?
I believe it's on the website. There's a resolution on the website.
It'd be on the
It
website.
is on the website?
Yes,
Okay.
I don't know that it had the numbers.
I wonder if I have one.
I would just need to see the,
Yeah, do that report real quick.
can I print off that website?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I can do it off of there. That's great.
I just have, it was,
I have the bill of Forestville, hard copy, paper copy, it would be fine.
okay,
The township had a,
Yes, we do have a signed,
Yeah,
yeah, I know it's signed.
it's here,
I
it's
just want-
resolution 2023-02. It's right at the top.
I wanted to keep it for our records, for our,
Southern Door Fire Department negotiated settlement agreement. You click on that, you get a PDF. you print it.
I don't have.
It's under government ordinances and resolutions.
Because I can get you a copy if you can't do it.
okay, either way.
Used
If I
to
can't
be
get
the-
it, I'll get a hold of you.
Used to be the chief would always present like, what he wanted to accomplish for the next year or whatever in the budget. He'd always put on, we need to do this building or.
Lot of the stuff we were able to cut in half, because we're losing one station,
Right,
and some of the stuff. Wages, because now we're gonna have actually more firemen. We couldn't quite cut in half, we had to go almost 2/3, you know, so wages and stuff could be a little more. But then your fuel expense and everything else could be a little less, your payment to LoSAPs and stuff could be less. We won't, this will be the hardest year. It is truly a guessing game this year on the budget. So, if it wasn't for the truck payment, we would really be well set, but, you know, it is what it is. So we do have the money, obviously, we do have the money in
right, I think it'll be fine.
liquid assets, you know.
You know, and the dollars for the sale of that truck are gonna go
Right back in,
right back to the new loan payment, which will help wrap that down.
and that capital credit union is due next March or April, that 50-some thousand.
And that'll go right to it, that'll knock it
go
down
straight
again.
into the truck payment too, so.
Which will all help, so,
So we should be able to survive with the 3 remaining municipalities here. Without much, increase to, you know. Anybody,
yeah. So, with that being said, we also talked last time about the boat. There's interest, we're still negotiating that sale will take place after the 28th. That way this package is completely done, and then we're only dealing with the one item. And it's gonna go to Bug Fire Department, just like we talked about. So everything that we talked about last time is what will take place. There was a paper, I think you guys had all seen, for the burning permits. So any of us hand out a burning permit, right?
Right.
The chief wanted us to make sure we hand that out. I think you guys all. got a
Yeah, we
copy
sent
of
it
that.
out.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. What I said earlier.
Okay.
Do those permits expire?
They were annual permits.
Annual.
You should-
Annual permit.
But do they expire?
At the end of the year.
Okay.
I wish they wouldn't, but they do.
I just have an old one, old, you know, old.
All right, so the first item that I want to bring up here is, the appointment of a director to the Southern Door Fire Department. Lauren's term is up and he has expressed interest into redoing his term. And I, for one, think he's been doing fine, so.
I make a motion to nominate Lauren for another term in the fire board.
I'll second that.
All right, so I have a nomination and a second to have Lauren continue on the fire department board. All in favor?
All right.
Right?
Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, that will pass. Okay.
It's a
So-
2-year term.
It's a 2-year term, yep.
For the top here?
Thank you.
Bruce, you can at least have one. I do have an extra one. Anybody else wants one? So, these are the bylaws.
They're technicolor.
This is to simplify this. So everything in yellow has been added, okay? Everything in green is the attorney and what he either wanted wording added or a complete part added, okay?
I see.
And one of them was basically the quorum
quorum.
one, yes, which, you know,
That's interesting.
that is very interesting. But it's absolutely true, right? Because since COVID, right? I mean, a guy never really thought of that part of it. Members may appear by simultaneous electronic communications with their vote to be counted as if they were present in the meeting. But a member appearing by electronic means shall not be counted as being present for the quorum purposes.
Well, yeah, right, you have to, because you have the majority of the directors have to be there to call it a quorum.
In the meeting room,
Yes,
correct,
correct.
not just.
In person.
Right.
Yeah.
And I asked the question of, well, you know, with COVID or whatever took place, right? Or sometimes they weren't really meeting, they were all zooming. How does that play out? But,
Did he cite any statutory authority for that statement?
no, he did not. No,
That would be a question I would ask.
as you know, this is becoming a pretty common, this is Randy's,
Randy
this
Nesbitt.
is Randy Nesbitt, okay? This is his comment and what he did in his green. As you know, this is becoming a pretty common event lately, but most organizations that allow remote participation don't allow that member to be counted toward a quorum. In other words, there has to be a quorum at the physical meeting location. That is optional.
It's optional, so he did not have any statutory authority for that.
No, I think it's because you're
I
saying
think
it's
it's
optional.
superfluous, because
Here was, and I asked the question, right, and we went around and we talked to the committee. Mike's point of this part, he liked it, and his point was this. I don't feel that people should feel comfortable staying at home and now there's no purpose to come to the meeting room. We should be here meeting as a group, that's what should be taking place. Circumstances arise such as COVID, you can then adjust accordingly.
the
That was,
bylaws say you can't.
but they.
If
but
you say that.
If we say this,
You can't.
correct, if we leave that section in there, but that was his point. And
How do they do their website? Never mind.
I don't know.
They don't have one.
I don't know. But anyway,
I'm sorry, but I see no statutory authority to support such a statement. Number one. Number two, if COVID was anything of a lesson for us, we managed to have meetings in person, but we spread out in that room pretty widely. You could make it happen. I don't know.
I don't know, that's just where it was at. You know, Randy Nesbitt did not make that recommendation by any of us.
Right,
He
that was
said-
his.
Right, and I agree that the electronic communication, you know what I mean, you want that to happen, that should be something in today's world.
Hmm. Members can appear by simultaneous electronic communication with their vote to be counted as if they were present in the meeting room. Simultaneous electronic communication. They could call on the phone.
Right, we could do,
They could send a text. They could do a Zoom.
Zoom is what we normally do, right, so we can see each other.
Well, I know,
but normally, yes. But it would be just no different than when Jason is on vacation, right?
right,
And but he's still here
right,
and he's still able to do his vote,
right.
but we had a quorum here.
What's the rest of the committee? What does Terry think of that?
Harry was absolutely fine with this. I was the only one questioning it. I was the only one that questioned it. Everybody else said, I think this is a good thing.
Well, as long as you can keep a quorum in the room, I guess. So you can meet anywhere. The next page I'm looking at, the next green one.
Yeah,
Within, person or persons authorized to call a special meeting of the board of directors may fix any place within or without the Southern Door District as a place for holding a special meeting of the board of directors called by them. So if there was a special training session in Madison, the board could decide to have a meeting for which nobody in this area would be even aware of, huh?
well, they would still, you still have to post it.
Yeah, but you're subject to open meeting laws, but you may go, maybe you'll be in Madison. Or maybe you all go out fishing in Colorado or something, I don't
I
know.
don't know that that was his whole point.
Well, I
The
don't,
point would be, well, if you wanted to do it at the town hall instead of the fire department,
yeah,
you should be able to do that.
within the town. In the boundaries of the district, the fire district, I don't know. Interesting. Well, this is right, because now you got here in section 11, subject to Wisconsin open meeting and public record laws. So a lot of this reads like the original agreement.
Yeah, so some of it is the original agreement,
Yeah, wording from the original agreement.
correct? And some got taken out. And some of it got grammar changes,
Yeah, yeah.
in the original one, you may have had
Right,
him or whatever, so. Some of that is
They
all
made it gender neutral.
correct
yeah, yeah,
in today's world.
right.
Um,
So here's to Jason's earlier question. For your, this Article 5, Chapter, or Section 2, under budget and fiscal agents, prepare a capital improvement plan.
correct.
So that's what you were referring to, and I, was there one done, capital improvement plan? As a part and parcel of your budget preparation? This is new, under the new thing, we would have a capital improvement plan.
As per se for what expensive purchases? Is that what you're gonna like?
Right, I'm assuming that's right, you're
Right.
looking for a replacement schedule, but we'd be looking for it.
Yeah, equipment maintenance schedule.
But did they get one done with this particular budget? I don't think so.
With so much else going on
Yeah,
with the split happening,
okay, and this is not in effect yet.
no.
Correct.
Well, that'll be ratified
Yeah,
at our annual meeting.
okay,
One thought every town puts their stamp on it.
right,
So then the budget you guys presented tonight was basically based on. What was kind of like
The
last
estimating,
year's
the
estimating.
yeah.
Okay, so this is not carved in stone.
no,
Okay, all right,
The budget?
yeah.
well,
No, well, kind of, that's what they're gonna operate off of. This is
Right.
where they're gonna try to stay at.
Okay.
but it's gonna be tough to really nail down.
Right,
Cause anything, number of things could happen, fire calls, CMR
Correct.
calls.
we're expecting less, cause we're, majority of our calls were to that lobby. But then, like I said, we have more firemen now, a little more than one half of the firemen, so it's kind of balances itself out a little bit.
So what is the head count for firemen though?
25 or so.
Oh,
That, active fireman, I don't think who's EMRs, I don't think so.
That's just firemen.
That's just firemen. Another 8, 10 EMRs or EMRs,
First responders or?
correct.
For capital expenditures, I'm going back and forth between here. Board of directors required to have a roll call vote of all directors present at a meeting where an action to purchase of a capital expenditure and or the borrowing of money should occur. The Secretary should record the vote as part of the record, and the purchase of a capital. What's a capital item? I think there's a wording error here. The purchase of a capital under this clause must have the support of at least one board member from each municipality. That's section 2. You see that?
Yeah, I do.
And that doesn't, capital something or other,
Well, it's gonna be purchase of what it's gonna be.
or the capital,
We can assume
Yeah.
that.
I know.
That's
pardon?
what-
We can assume that.
I don't want to assume.
No, I don't wanna assume it either. So,
No, but that's what
Just,
we'll, yep,
observation.
Yeah, that's a new bylaw.
Yep.
That's taken right from bugs. Well, not exactly from bugs, but it's. Let's use it as a template.
Mhm. I mean, other than that minor stuff, this looks okay.
I'm surprised, right? So it'll read the purchase of capital
Items,
items, right?
because it's gonna be not, it could be anything. It's a capital expenditure. So. I would say.
Actually, I am sorry, I thought I checked this thing off, but like I said, it's new.
No, if you're on the county board, they charge you $25. And they would seek and obtain approval from each individual municipality when considering a major purchase requiring in-debit. That's, yeah. And you're gonna then contract and have them audit, okay.
Right. But you're gonna have an
Mhm.
improvement plan to begin with, so
Right,
barring an accident of some sort or some truck blowing up. You're already gonna know in
Ahead of time.
advance, this is the next item, and they're
Right.
anticipating this in 5 years from now.
Mhm. Yeah, well, it's good. Other than that, the only thing.
Nick, Terry and Kevin and Myron have put, and even Chief Olson have put
Oh, I'm sure this is not an easy
a
thing.
lot of time into proofreading and.
Yep.
Editing in and editing out.
So I just saw that and had to make.
Yeah, no, thank you for the catch. I mean, even we missed it. Randy missed it. But that's what I will say. That is the whole purpose of that.
Right, I understand that. I understand it, but
Yeah.
I couldn't understand what the capital.
We're gonna buy a capital credit union after this roll.
Just Larry.
So if we're good with that, I would look for a motion to accept this so that I can bring it back to the committee, and then that's what it'll end up, your the new bylaws and.
I'd make a motion and. Yeah, we find it acceptable. With that one correction,
All right,
as noted.
I second that.
okay. I have a motion on the table to accept the new bylaws in a second, except for the one grammar error. We'll add the word item in there. All in favor?
All right,
All opposed? Hearing none, it will pass. And as he had said, the 28th is when the text should be written.
I should have the checks on the 27th. I'm tentatively meeting with Chairman Sullivan the morning of the 27th to turn over the titles to the vehicles that they purchased. And he's gonna have the checks, well, I got the checks are ready, but
Right,
they didn't wanna deal with having to lease the trucks for 2 weeks and deal with all that, so.
so when that comes, I'm assuming we give that to you, yeah? Where did, where?
Yeah, I'm going to Florida. No,
Right,
that goes to the treasurer. She takes the money in.
just bring it, so I didn't know if it had to go to Ruth first for whatever reason, or they just
No.
run it over by
I
you.
can give it to Dina, right?
Yep.
Right,
Yeah.
that's where it should go.
Yeah.
Get over there and then that part is taken.
I'll have
care of.
all 3 checks for.
Right,
the village
right.
and Clay.
Well, I don't know what Gary and Mike want. If
Oh, I'll get hold of them. When I get them, the Dina, I'll get
deal
hold
with
of them.
that part of
We
it.
can sell.
Then as soon as that's done, we'll deal with the boat very shortly after.
I'm sure you will.
Okay, Maplewood Sanitary District. What I had here was just this letter.
Yeah.
You guys all see that thing?
That's the first documented step in the process.
Yes.
So that's really what they wanna try to do, is tie us into.
Absolutely.
And is this a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Got the email.
Absolutely,
This is the good thing,
absolutely.
okay?
This is a good thing.
Well, it just seems like such a long run down the highway, but
That's the DNR's proposal. That has been on the table for a number of years.
But-
There was grant monies to run that pressure line from Maplewood to the Forestville, processing
Yeah.
plant. That plant was put in and it was designed to handle a cheese factory that never was. So it's running at a fraction of its capacity.
yeah, that's what Terry said too. He says, we have way
Way
more
more
than enough
capacity.
to take care of.
Yes.
this.
And the problem we have here, we have a system that is continually giving trouble. They also would have to satisfy the DNR. There would have to increase their cells up here and then do something by the Church Hill, major, and they do not want to do that. Because right now, you have a lot of vacant properties, a lot of people on standby in the sanitary district. So by getting this thing finally moving, it'll then put in the pressure line. And the DNR, there were grants available for this. This is not gonna be a cheap deal.
No, no.
But they first have to look at the plan. And this was a very difficult thing to get in place.
Will that actually lower their monthly sewer or whatever they have? Cause they have a massive sewer bill. Anybody that buys a piece of property there.
They don't
signs up-
stay long, yeah.
No,
Mm-mm. It's expensive.
cause it's almost as high as their taxes.
It's very costly to have a property in the sanitary district, yes. So, in the past, it was with special assessments,
Mhm.
they've increased the rates. And not everybody is hooked up to everything.
Mhm.
We have, do we have septic? But we have a well. So we only got partial services.
Right.
And that's not cheap either.
No.
So it's a good thing that this is underway. From my perspective.
Yeah, we got property in Maplewood. I won't put anything on it.
No. It's costly.
We pay double because we're a business.
Yeah.
It's always nice. And you know what?
Oh,
We
yeah,
use less water than anybody.
yep,
Yeah.
really, because you're a business.
Yep,
Yeah, that property right next to you.
yep.
I wanted to put a double wide on there and
No.
don't wanna put the,
Don't know. That's a good thing. It's finally moving.
Well, thing is gonna fail. You're gonna have to do something.
Well, DNR has already given them, what was that we talked about a month or two ago? What were those, deficiency reports or whatever?
Oh, yes,
They're having trouble.
yeah.
So we're struggling. All right. Okay, cemetery report?
Very quiet. I think, well. And we don't have any critters in there this year.
Oh, really?
I've not heard,
Oh,
I've not
no
got
complaints.
the problems up
Mhm.
there at all. So,
Good, that's good.
you know, there's a pending sale, but until I see a check or get anything done, it won't happen until that happens.
Okay. Could I make another, just because I know we're gonna have some discussions on a couple of these other things.
Okay,
Can I move roads and road work up?
yeah, if you want.
I'd like to move that one up. That way if Joe
Okay.
has something that he wants to go and do before it's too late. As far as road work, it's a good possibility that stuff is blacktopped by the end of the week.
You're talking about Old Elm Road?
Old Elm.
Yes, and down by the farm as well. So they're finishing up there and they're going over to the next spot, which is these roads.
On Old Elm Road, between Highway and Mill Road, where the critters were digging stumps. I guess that's what you reported. And we had the dip. We are now seeing the road extended failure to the north, on the north lane.
Yep,
So that, there's been nothing done to, shore it up or to prevent further, deterioration. And so we're creating something between there that's gonna have to be taken care of.
I had talked to Thad about that, do we cut and dig out a spot and refill? And he thought, this is his answer, and I can talk to him again tomorrow morning. If you want, just put a patch over the top of it. But if they're
It's
sitting.
failing, the road is failing. I mean, there's a crack parallel, it's about this wide from the edge. It's going, it's migrating east and west.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Outside.
when we meet tomorrow morning, I will take them over there.
Take a look at that.
And we will stop and
Yeah.
physically look at that.
I would suggest that because that's
So
not,
hopefully we can come up with a resolution to that.
I mean, you guys are still going taking that route to the highway.
Mhm.
And, even granted, the loaded trucks are on the south side of the road, but they come back empty. And yet that road is just coming apart. It's going to continue to come apart. So see what Thad can come up with on that. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, we'll do. I'm gonna move over to ditch cutting, because we'll talk about the culvert thing.
All right,
So the ditches are all cut, from.
nice
where
job,
we're-
what I've seen.
Yes,
we're at,
very nice job.
And I think we're moving on the signs and stuff next, and the bridges and brushing.
We're half the site, still not in yet. Sure, in the next week or two, they should be here. Yeah, we'll be starting brushing this week. When we ready to install the sign,
Okay,
so,
were you able to find that sign that was
yeah.
apparently knocked down?
Well, I can't tell if our mowers hit it. I can't, because there's no chew marks or nothing on the 4x6.
Well,
It looks like it was just rotted, and I don't know, I have no idea how it came out.
What sign is
Because
it?
it's not, because if our mowers hit it, it'd be facing that way. Well, it's facing this way.
so there was a sign, I just got a text on my phone one night. It said, what road and bridge was that?
Over here by, Kroll, Forest Road. Is it Forest?
First,
Yeah,
Oh,
by the bridge, at the bridge, narrow bridge sign is. And it's sitting in the ditch, just to make you aware, well. At the same time, well, then we, because we were talking back and forth a few times, I'm thinking, hey, if you're in that area.
Yeah, it's just a 4x6, so there's not gonna take nothing up with it.
I think on our road, the sign is down, kids at play. I don't know, Randy said, I don't know if the ditch cutters hit it or
Where was it?
just on Old Elm. on the dead end road.
By your farm?
Yeah, just before the is it before or after the Anapee? I can't remember.
The trail.
Yeah, it's before or after the Anapee, but there's a,
Um,
I think it's just kind of hanging there now.
Is the ditch really steep right there?
Yeah, I think yeah, I think so.
Could be a possibility, because I know once the tractors, some of those ditches are. Really bad.
Yeah,
And once tractors get in there, they can't get over until they try and find an easier way.
Well, if it is, yeah,
yeah, I mean, just so somebody gets it back up.
right, so we're not,
Property on Mill Road. Over here, as you're coming from the park. There's that soybean field on the right, tons and tons of stones. I rolled a stone on the road and I rolled it into that yard.
I saw that.
It was so freaking big, I couldn't. But I see it's gone. So I don't know. But yeah,
they rolled it back in the ditch.
I don't know.
I hope not.
The stones, it's just a never ending battle. The stones around here, there's so many.
Is it people throwing them in the ditches?
Well, you can tell they're fresh stones from the fields.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, you hit it and roll it over the edge. In the ditch it goes.
yeah, you can tell they're fresh, because you can tell an older stone and it has algae and stuff on it.
Sure.
They're fresh. There wasn't too many tires that we hit. We picked up 2 tires.
Hmm.
I don't think any pallets or nothing. It wasn't too bad. A lot of stumps though. Stone Road, on the intersection of H and Stone Road. Somebody cut some trees down right by the intersection. They left the stumps aside. You can actually see, if you go down that way, you can see where they lifted up the mower and went right over them. And the stuff's just tall. So they're gonna cut them. You know, I put out a flyer or something saying to people, if you're gonna cut brush or trees in a ditch, either cut it ground level or cut the thing 4 feet in the air. That way we can see it.
I see it.
It's one or the other. If you're not gonna do it, just don't do it.
That newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah, that's a good item for the newsletter.
because we hit one stump and it's $1,000 worth of blades gone.
Yeah,
So it's.
Yeah.
It's actually better if you leave them tall. It's the same thing on the road. It goes towards S.
So,
It might be. You got boulders in the road or boulders in the ditch and the farmer. Cuts all the way, or he farms all the way to the inner center of the ditch. So when we try and cut around the boulders, it just takes the stuff and flings it all over the road because there's not much ditch there anymore. So it's either get rid of the stones or give back the town right away.
he's farming the right of way.
There's a lot of places that are
Probably
farming.
you.
right like that.
Probably have to talk.
Hmm?
Probably have to talk to whoever that is. Is it us?
There's a lot that's farming the right away, because there's a lot that they farm right up to the crest of the ditch. So when we try and get in there, I mean, it looks like hell because our mowers, you know, when the tractor puts the mower down, it follows the other edge of the ditch, then you got the other tractor that goes in and follows the backside. But you can't get in there anymore.
Because they're
So
already,
all the grass is tall. 'Cause that
they're
mower's can't get down.
encroached onto the end of the right of way.
There's a lot, you drive around, you'll notice it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still better than last year. Last year was terrible. This year it's getting better. So other than that. And we're not doing all the roads for brushing, so everybody knows, I think I got it on that estimate. The roads that are need to be done. Focus on, and all of this, and if you talk to the lady on. Whatever road it is, I contacted.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Are we gonna cut that?
No. You heard, if her ditches, what I told her. Was, if your ditch is cut. The town will not cut your ditch. If your ditch is not cut, we're coming in. Cause it will be cut, you know what I mean? So, basically, if your men have seed, so if she leaves a little strip like she had, right?
Yep.
And you're cutting, I'm okay with that. Right, cause it's still really taking care of our concern there. But everything else is. Move forward.
But,
Wasn't overly impressed, but it is what it is.
I mean, we try and get in there because it's gonna grow up. I mean, and, you know, a lot of people have to realize too, we're cutting with a tractor, we're not cutting with one. You know, we gotta get in there.
Well, part of the problem is it's our right of way. And we have the right to maintain the right of way. It's as simple as it is.
It's our responsibility.
I don't.
Yeah.
really
Well, I know
care
what he
you
tried to
want.
explain to her was, if you let it go and it grows up, then who's gonna take care of it? Now, the town has to spend extra money to cut all the stuff down, the trees and everything that grow.
Yeah,
I mean, it is all those things. And I don't know, I was never contacted personally by her.
I was several times.
I mean, if there's something that we have to go take care of, I have no problem doing it.
Yeah, we'll stay in contact
Yeah, just let me know.
on all those little items.
Was there any other concerns or anything?
No, none that I had heard other than, that part.
I don't know how you don't tip your tractor over, but
Fireplaces.
that's really bad.
That's deep.
Are you
Can I
gonna,
give them the check?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you guys are okay with
Yeah,
that,
we
right?
signed it.
You didn't see the bill.
No, but
It was,
I'll see.
It'll be in the report, yeah.
I'll see
And
that.
then, I'll contact you when we're gonna start doing signage,
Yeah,
but we're doing brushing, so.
okay. Are you gonna look at the one down by the farm to see?
Yeah,
if it
I'll
was-
figure around down
You
there.
know, if you're heading back that way, whatever.
We're starting, for signage, we're starting, sort of. We're starting there. And that Glacier Hill Road,
Yeah,
Railroad,
yeah.
his stuff still isn't in yet. And there's a major concern about getting it in right away.
I know. He's like, well, nobody can find my house
But
or
if he
whatever.
calls you, I ordered it pretty much the exact same day, so it's kind of out of my hands until it gets to me. So I lost his number.
Oh, I probably have it because I put it in my phone as a contact, so.
I have it otherwise. I have
When he
his number.
calls.
I have his number at
That's
home.
my thing, if you can forward me his number, I can give him all that.
There was
I appreciate
another,
it.
there was another question on a private road, which is actually by Kroll's, that little subdivision Kroll's has,
Mhm.
or somebody interested in.
Building or
lots and building,
something,
yeah, so I answered all those questions.
And that
And
subdivision that's not been developed for.
who takes care of, the plowing and all of this, and
Yeah.
so I answered everything we can. So they understand, it's private,
That's private road.
yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's all them, whatever.
And, like Sleepy Hollow at the last meeting, we had said that Sherry Reader is the one that put up the signs. That was done with, prior to that. That was, George Schmitz and who else owned that road before that?
Mm.
That's a long time ago.
And the thing is that, my.
It's a private road, yeah.
Yeah, my whole point of the private road is, you just wanna have those signs uniform with the town road.
Right.
So it did make sense to me to say, I'll pay for your first sign,
That's it.
and we're done. And if it goes down, now it's your problem, and you will have to put it back up type deal. It isn't like, well, it's just down, no, it's gotta go back up.
Yeah.
But. However, the board feels, then that's the way it is, so.
And when I'm in front of the town board too, it's nothing with the driveways, I contact you on the driveways.
You might as well sit here, cause that's the next conversation coming up.
Culverts and the driveways should be installed.
So apparently, as I just got word here. We have no jurisdiction other than our town road, so if it's on the county road, the county takes care of it, hands out that thingy, and I think all they do is collect the money and just go nuts.
Pretty much.
And if it's on the highway, the state does the exact same thing.
It's
So
on-
regardless of what I have in here, if it's on our road,
On a town road.
our town road, then it comes to us. And I will make sure that it's that way, with the right, for the exact reason that you're talking about.
terrible, cause you drive down any road and you can see exactly when the ditch is too steep, cause the grass is 10 feet tall on both sides of the ditch, or on both sides of the driveway.
Right.
Or they take the culvert, they make the driveway 15 feet wide and they get a 30-foot culvert.
And
That's
you got
like-
the metal sticking in the
Yeah.
ditch, yeah.
I know we hit one culvert and I took the end of it, I bent it right up. So I backed the tractor over to smash it back down, but the culvert was sticking, you know, I kid you not, 6 feet out on one side and about 8 feet out on the other.
Yeah, see, and that shouldn't be. I mean, you want it passed so the ground isn't coming in and
Yeah,
blocking
not-
my
That's,
culvert, but we're only talking
yeah,
1.5 feet-ish
yeah,
for that pitch, you know what I mean? 22.5, right in that range.
and a lot of these driveways, they're either straight up and down or people pile rocks, so we don't hit the culvert, well, then
You're
it's
hitting
even
rock.
worse.
Yeah.
So. That's what I was saying, I know, Tony Union, we went through this with the driveways and everything, and people are just now getting, yeah, it makes more sense to take all this stuff away. So we can just go right up and over the driveway,
Mhm.
wow. But yeah, there's a lot of driveways around here where it's just straight up and down.
Yeah,
So-
well. And they're supposed to be getting permits, but again. You
Well,
know,
yeah.
in the whole comment of that permit thing, and it's a county road, that just seems so goofy to me. If you're sitting in our township. You should get 2 permits then. Because then we're gonna make sure that it's our way. I don't know if you can even do that, or,
No, because it's what entity has jurisdiction for access to that road. So I know my daughter, when she put her place in 20-some years ago, they would have had to get a driveway so far away from the existing driveway. Instead, they used my driveway and then they tee off of it and go there. Because of the requirement at the time with the state, because it could DOT in Green Bay. The county highway department issues permits on highways, county highways. And that's what O is. And I did not see that. All I saw was the fact that there was this was an incomplete application in my way of thinking. And then I discovered, oh, wait a minute, you on county O, oh, we don't really have jurisdiction there. I mean, yeah, they put the driveway in and yeah,
did it the way it should have been done.
well, I understand that, but nonetheless, I don't know how the county handles things in that regard, because if you do something without a permit, then they come back and you really pay.
Right, but I'll talk with that because of what was there.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So in this particular instance, we wanted, number one, to capture the payment through the electronic system, which we were able to do. And you rightly said, well, if you want something, I need a permit. And I thought it was an incomplete application, but it did have an O, lowercase o. I didn't even see that. I didn't see the plat, I didn't see anything. So then I printed out that draft copy, which is what you provided them. So they figured, oh, well, I got my permit and away I go. And then I went back and, what is that? I found it was over on County O. I thought, that's odd. And then I went back and I looked at this thing, oh my. So we haven't issued the permit. So
Well, what'll happen is,
we will decline the permit.
yeah, credit them this $20 back, and then
We'll
I'll
have-
talk with that and let them know, listen, they tried to do the right thing. But,
So I'll have
in
to,
the midst of doing the right thing, I did
Check.
the wrong thing, so
Right, so we're gonna have to give a check back to whoever,
babblers.
well, it was under Mary's name.
it was Paul though.
It was Paul because it's next to his house.
Yeah, I seen that driveway there.
Yeah, so,
Just to get to the field, is that all they're doing?
Right,
It's
because
access,
what
field
they did is
access,
they blacktopped their driveway.
Oh.
And I don't want the tractors coming on my new blacktop
okay.
and wrecking the edge and stuff, so now, if that's the
you
case,
gotta have field access.
I want a field entrance.
And that's
And
right,
that's what it was
I have
about.
no problem with that. But that's not, so we still have to get that, decline that thing. They'll get a notice that it's been declined, message, but then we'll have to get them a check.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
just for the $20, not for the fee.
Right,
Maybe we should give them the feedback, I don't know. I don't know how much,
Fee for doing it on a credit card, you mean?
yeah, they did it on a
it wouldn't
credit
be too much for $20.
Couple cents.
How much?
I thought it would be about $2.
Is it that
I
much?
don't know.
I think it's only
Well,
like
rent is-
3% or something. isn't
All
it?
rent is about $4 or $5.
Oh, is it?
So. I think it's about
I'll talk to him and see how I
725.
can fix that.
I'm thinking dog.
So,
It's probably only, yeah.
you know, they tried doing the right thing and I
Mhm.
advised them wrong.
But that's okay, we know it, and we can,
Mhm.
correct it. Here, I'll tell you what they paid. This was,
Well, this is kind of off subject, but kind of not. I had a couple I ran into over the weekend, an Ellison couple living over on, Maple Road. Fire signs. This is still an issue yet.
that's the county.
Right, and that's what I told them, I said, but the thing is, they actually sent a check in at one point to the county to get a new fire sign, because they said, if you want a new fire sign, you have to pay for it. So they sent the check in. It's like a decade ago. They still haven't gotten their sign.
Really?
So they'd be kind of curious, I said, well, that's with the county. I said, we can dig into it a little bit further, but I mean, there's gotta be somebody at the county we can shake their
Zach.
tree at. I mean,
Zach.
Whoever
Zach.
issues
Zach.
fire.
Zach,
I talked to Zach,
All right, so Zach,
but I don't know which month is it. Is that what it is? I don't know.
That was a 91 cent fee.
Oh,
but I don't know where,
I would give. them
I don't know what
$20.
department that's out of though.
Yes, I agree.
well, I'll dig into it.
Yeah,
But now I
I know
got a
it's
name.
Zach because we
Because
talked to
$20
him there.
Yeah,
Yeah, $20.91.
Oh,
We in error
good, thank you.
sent them
Mhm.
that direction.
And just tell them what happened. I'm sure they'll just
Yeah.
say, well, whatever, we'll just fix it and move on.
Everything off?
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
We'll
Have
see
a
you
good
guys.
night.
Much.
thanks.
All right, so that should take care of the road
Culvert.
update. I'm gonna move up to 13, the town hall refrigerator. It is on order, so as soon as it comes in, they will come and rip out the old one. and-
Stainless with the ice water.
Yes,
Yeah, great.
that's.
Love it.
And then, the other stuff turned out pretty nice, the sidewalk and the ground filling and the grass is all planted and the sign is up. I thought everything looked pretty awesome, so.
Yeah.
Just a little update on there.
I know the flag thing is missing.
Yes, because
Terry's
they
getting it
are
painted.
fixing it.
They're painting it.
Oh, they're painting it. Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
We've talked about that.
Yeah. Got her under control.
I have no doubt of that.
Maybe we'll add a little gold trim to it too.
Or a
Now
stone,
you're asking for a lot.
or a stone base, come on, you have fields. Base and
So, let's move to,
11.
yeah, we'll go back up to broadband update. So,
Okay.
were you at the meetings?
Yes, I've been to several of the meetings. And the ad hoc committee voted at the last meeting to choose Brightspeed, which is our telephone provider, as their preferred provider. Now, this committee has worked through, they work with Bug Tussle, Bertram, Insight, Silicon, Charter, Spectrum, Brightspeed, which is CenturyLink, now it's Brightspeed, an outfit called Lit Communities, Frontier Communications. They have gone through an incredible amount of work to determine who would be a good provider. They weighted every RFP, they sent it out to all these people. They've been going through this thing for months. The recommendation was made to go with Brightspeed, and the reason for that is they came in about half the cost of any of the other proposals, number one. And the reason they could come in at a cost savings, significant cost savings, was because they are the legacy telephone provider. Therefore, they know where all the locations are, they know how the access to them is. And, there's a question, an open question of which addresses and which locations are they going to actually service? They know this and they have the right of way or the make ready work permits and everything else done for all poles, for all access. And they're the legacy provider of those services. Therefore, they do not have to do the engineering. They do not have to go through the survey work and determine where and how and they're gonna go. They already own a lot of the space. So therefore, they'll overlash if they have to go aerial with fiber and abandon the copper that they already have. In some places, they'll follow their current path to most locations where they know where their wire line goes and replace that with fiber. That reduces the engineering costs, make ready costs and everything else. So they brought their costs way down. All the other providers, those who responded to the RFP, were basing a lot of things on grants and the timeframes were extended 4-5 years to complete task. Brightspeed came in at the end of this thing. At first they didn't really, they were just changing over from CenturyLink or Embark or Lucent or whoever they were had so many names over the years. They came in until late, but they also came in with their proposal, which was significantly less, and their time frame is 2 years. 2 years to have fiber to every residence. Brightspeed.
No, okay, so they own their own, they have their own crews, I think, too, with Brightspeed, don't they?
Yes, they
Whereas
do.
the other ones, I think, are subcontracting a lot of crews that are not from the area, so they're bringing people and doing.
Well, and that's why it takes 4 to 5 years, is
Right.
because you have a shortage of people who then can do all of the work. The other piece of this was the fact that we joined this consortium
Mhm.
of Brussels, Union, Gardner, and Forestville. And it's, in essence, it becomes the gateway to Door County, quite frankly.
Right.
They already have their backhaul in place,
Mhm.
so it's gonna make a lot of sense to go that path. Now, Clay Banks went ahead with, I believe it was Bug Tussle or
Berkshire.
Bertram.
Yeah. Was that the one that bought Dork and Broadband?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And Nassawapi is now going back to reevaluate their choices. And others have done the same. Now, I think the other day Gardner approved this, accepted that.
Right, the town of Gardner did approve at their 9/13
Mhm.
to the recommendation for partnering with Brightspeed in the town of Gibraltar, or Gardner. I'm sorry.
Gardner. And to that end, I would make a motion that we also accept that proposal.
So I just have a.
Now, there's no dollars connected with it. There's more to go with this. They're going to have a meeting for town officials, town board. Prior to their public meetings. Public meetings were originally scheduled to occur on the 27th. And I know I saw, Ruth, you had posted that postcard out on the bulletin board. I never put it on the website because that was just a draft. And that is not accurate because they cannot
Oh,
hold
okay.
this thing on Tuesday. This is draft
Okay.
only.
Mhm, mhm.
So you put that on the bulletin board, but that meeting is not going to occur
Okay,
because they
No.
just adopted this thing, was it last Tuesday? Or Thursday, when I went to that meeting?
mhm.
So they have numbers that where the difference is Brightspeed knows all these address locations. Yet that's different than what we have for record purposes, and they have to reconcile those numbers. So based on the number of drops and access points and everything else, whether it's E911 list, there are different ways of looking at it. That will then set the tone for the costs. And the costs, like I say, they're significantly less than the costs of these others. And I hate to say what the number's gonna be because it's not settled out yet. And that's why they can't have this meeting, because they would like to give you a sense of what is it gonna cost. The costs, according to their proposal, it's for the ongoing costs, it's gonna be 200 megabytes up and down, so it's asymmetric at $60 a month. So that's a pretty good price for that kind of speed on fiber to every location.
But they already ran fiber on how many locations already?
Well, that's not to locations, that's to their support their DSL copper or telephones. It's not fiber.
So that's not fiber.
It's fiber to their green boxes all over the place. Yes, they have run a ton of fiber in this town.
Right, so that, I mean, that's.
That's already in
expense,
place.
Right, that has, well, actually, the other company actually paid for. Right, but that was part of buying the business.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, since you're talking about that.
right.
Right. Brightspeed is doing this in a lot of other places. They have $8 billion already in projects already underway. And this is one more that they wanna put in. So the cost to the town will be finalized here prior to their public meeting, which may occur in the early part of October. Prior to that meeting in the next few weeks, they want to have one open to all town board elected officials or people, you know, who we have got a number of names, 10 or 12 people who have volunteered to serve on an implementation committee. This is the ad hoc committee that did all the research, and they've done an amazing amount of work. But then there's got to be implementation. And there we have 10 or 12 people, and we did our survey work when we got the numbers out. So we know who those people are, and they should be invited to that board informational meeting where they'll get the numbers specific to each town. And ballpark, $1.8 million is what it's gonna cost us.
That's way better.
It's very, very cost effective. So if you were to take and put that out to the Bureau of Public Lands, their rates are 5.75 or something like that at this point. You're talking maybe for $100,000, $16, you know? So until we can get those hard figures, it's gonna be very difficult then to have a public meeting and say,
Right.
here's where we're gonna go.
So if we're voting on this tonight, this is not about dollars, this is
No.
about moving forward with Brightspeed itself.
Correct.
And let the other, for the committee,
Right.
let the other ones go to the side, so Brightspeed can get everything finalized and they know they're not wasting their time.
Well, that's to get it all in place, that here are the specifics. And the board's gonna have to make a decision to whether or not we're going to contract with them. I mean, that's a board decision. We already have gotten the survey results. We've gotten the percentage numbers out there of what does it take.
But the survey results were asking the people, do you want us to investigate this to get a number for high-speed internet? And if we did that,
We'll wait until we get to this meeting to find out what it has to be.
you know,
But when you talk about indebtedness, that's a board's decision to make. But again, I think it's not unlike what we did with we did an advisory referendum for the garbage, and recycling, and it came back, 20 years ago, it was no way could you do that. And the second time we went by, it was completely the opposite. When Claybanks went to their people to say, are we going to go with Bertram? They committed to over $2 million, and they didn't think they would get it. And their town, they had a special town meeting. At that special town meeting, it overwhelmingly was supported. They said, well, if we don't get another penny from anybody, we want to indebt ourselves to that level,
Mhm.
and they went with it. So we may have to have a special town meeting.
And it's,
Yeah.
I'm only looking to have input from some of the people who are gonna pay for it, and
Oh,
if
yes.
they're telling me. Personally, yes, for me,
But no, you're right.
we're talking about spending their money. I would like
Exactly.
to, I'd like to feel good about it, I don't
Oh,
wanna feel like
absolutely.
it was.
No, we have to understand, first of all, we have to understand what are the approximate costs, what
Yeah.
are we getting ourselves into here? Then we have to come back and decide, is this something that we're really gonna go forward? This is what it's really gonna cost. And we'll have all, at least ballpark figures.
Ballpark numbers, yeah.
You're not gonna have fixed figures till it's over and done with. And then they'll have a public meeting. And the public then can get in there and ask these questions. And then we will have to commit after that. And I would think, after that, we should have a special town meeting
Mhm.
to say, here's where we're at, here's what we went through, it was open to the public, here's all the questions. We will know, we can answer the questions then when they come to a public meeting. And then the electors at a special town meeting, called for that purpose, will take, yeah, let's go.
Mhm.
I don't think we wanna go to referendum, because then you're gonna wait for election cycle.
Mhm.
And that's gonna only delay it. So that's, I think, the proper path. And that's something we'll have to find out, and we'll go find out when this thing is gonna be.
Yeah, cause this Brightspeed is already looking at 2 years, even if we did commit, it's like a 2 year,
Implementation.
yeah. So I mean, there's people that want it now.
Well,
Yeah, so-
I understand.
And that's what I mean, that's why doing it your way is gonna be a little quicker, you
It'll
know,
get,
versus going through the referendum
Well,
part of it.
it'll get them in a position to go after some of the funding.
Right.
So there's a public service commission through the state. There's BEAD funding coming next year, which is significantly more monies. But the sooner that we can make a commitment, and they know we've got a commitment, then the sooner they can make application for monies. And Jessica Hatch, who is the county's coordinator, was at the meeting, and she's looked at the way in which grants are being awarded.
Mhm.
And some of these grant monies, some of these municipalities have gone in and asked for, 50% cost, 70% cost, whatever. And of course, that's a big ask. And the ones that are successful come in under 30% of ask.
Mhm.
And so that's the kind of numbers this ad hoc committee is working with. And at one point, Jessica said, I would feel real comfortable. You'll almost guarantee yourself getting a grant asking for 25% of the cost. And John Cook, as the ad hoc chair, says, well, we could ask for 27% or 28%, still be under the 30%. It would still happen. So she's tracking all of these requests and all of the grants. So I think that their proposal that they're gonna present to us whenever they have this meeting in the next few weeks will have solid information along those lines, and we'd be much better off getting in early. Now, there's only gonna be one grant award for broadband. So if we can go with somebody, current carrier, who has all the make ready and all the information, and get the total cost down and get the grants that we know about. That is the cutoff for filing those things is November. So this is why there's this urgency to
Mhm.
move down the path. So that's the broadband report, and
So how can we get some input from our citizen? Is that something, can we do a quick survey? Is it just something online?
how many survey responses did you get? 100
100 and some,
There was some big.
140
something
maybe,
like
and then a few later on.
There's been, that information will be given to us, what those numbers were.
Mhm.
We did our
Yeah, Roy
survey.
has all that.
Roy has it. Unfortunately, he's at Kalahari, he's at the county convention today, so he's not here to give the report. So I said, well, I'll do the best I can, and we'll have those numbers from them. And then we can evaluate that after we have that special meeting. But I think we are in support of what the ad hoc committee is recommending. So that's why I would make that motion, and we as the town board of Forestville are in support of Brightspeed to be the ISP.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I agree. All right, I have, a motion made to move forward with Brightspeed for the internet service. And a second, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, it will carry.
So if you can get that information back to John Cook,
Mhm.
did you get the stuff from John Cook? Or from Roy?
Oh, this came from, would have been Julie Cook.
Well, yeah,
John,
yeah,
yeah,
okay,
that's where the email came from,
okay. So then, yeah, just so they get it back,
yes.
so that John Cook knows. He needs to be aware,
Cook, yeah. Mhm.
because Gardner's on, they passed it, now
And I
we're
think their meeting is tonight too, the other town boards,
probably. Union
So
Gardner.
someone has to email him and let him know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so would you want to do that?
yeah, I can do that.
Okay. So we'll take care of that. All right, perfect.
A lot of work went on, but I'll tell you, those guys did amazing things. And I went to several of those meetings. Because I really got an interest in this thing to make it happen, if possible.
Well, I think it's gonna happen.
But
You read my own writing.
You know-
the utility,
I just wanna make sure
So
that
these men get like that.
you're hearing positive stuff as far as, yep, we wanna go ahead and move this. Okay.
well, like I say, we
That's all I'm
have
after.
about 10 or 12 individuals who want to serve on an implementation committee. As a part of that survey work.
Okay. All right, item number 12 is the HayGov and website update.
All right,
Basic email upgrade options.
okay, I sent this thing out, and Ruth, you had forwarded to me, something as well. Who was that from? Beth Hanson, County Union? She
Yes,
wanted to know,
yes.
and, so she sent me back information. And currently, there's an outfit called Door County Information Technology on Bayfield Avenue in Sturgeon Bay. And they quoted her 5 users. They have 5 users. And the basic user plus email, plus email was $5.99. So they came back at $29.95 a month per user. And then, or $5.99 per user per month, so it was $29.95. Their email services was Office 365. Their recommendation there was gonna cost them $12.99 per user per month for $64.95. So the net bottom line for Town of Union she was looking at, if she went with everything, would be $94.90. That's a whole lot of money. But then I had gone and sent each of you, or I asked Ruth to forward this current thing. Rackspace gives us right now,
Headaches.
headaches. So we pay $12 a month for email, $15 a month to archive. We have online storage at $7.50 a month per user per month. So we total cost on that is $34.50 a month, and that's what's going on your credit card. You see that every. If we were to add to that the Rackspace offering of Office 365, it's $9.96 per user per month, which would bring us up, that would total $49.80 a month, which would bring our projected total to $84.30 if we were to incorporate the Office products. Word, Excel, and all of those. Right now, we as a town have purchased just computer for you, Ruth, and Office applications. So you use that for your minutes, for your, agendas, for everything, as well as Excel. Cause that's how we're doing
Mhm, right,
stuff for the financial reporting stuff for the
Mhm.
state. I don't know if was that just a copy of those products from Microsoft?
Could have
We
been.
bought, are you, when I work with you on your machine,
Mhm, mhm.
you don't have the full suite available. It's what we bought for you at the time when we got the computer upgraded or when we added memory or when we bought a printer, whatever. Now, you're both now, we got away from 2 copies of QuickBooks. We now are online with QuickBooks and you can get into that. And I agree, that was a difficult change, but it's functional very well now for us. Well.
It's working.
it-
It's working,
it's
but-
Working.
The reports are really hard work.
Well, I understand that. But that gets us away from those individual licenses that we were paying for.
Mhm.
Now, I have my own license for stuff. You're using farm's license, I'm guessing.
Mhm.
You have your business
license, yeah.
licenses. I don't even know what Jason does.
I just got Office 365.
Person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is my look at this thing, we're not really providing all of the tools to work in the digital age to the people who are on the town board. If you think about it, because here's 4 out of 5 of us are doing this with our own copies of stuff. So that took us down to the recommendation that came up. Why I put that in there. Were we to do this? You would end up spending 8430 with Rackspace. Now, Town Web, as the original ones who recommended Rackspace, have now come to us and said, we're not happy with them at all. And we want nothing to do with them. So as of the end of the year, they're not gonna do anything to support anybody on Rackspace. And they're gonna make this they made this recommendation to go to this Google Workspace. Now, Google's Workspace the costs are right down here. Email, $6 a month per user per month, $30 a year or a month. And email archiving is going to also be the same, $6 or 30 per month. And then they said Workspace, including support by Town Web, at $6 per user per month, it's a $30 fee. So all of a sudden you got $90 a month as opposed to what we currently have of $34.50 but this would include all the other additions, sheets, docs. It's basically a lot of people are working in the Google arena. It's publicly available, but if you buy Workspace access, and that's what this is, Workspace access, you may create a document in Word or Sheets, Excel. Docs is Word. They save it, so they're a Microsoft document. So you can work with it anywhere, but you're online. I don't know if
I got that
you,
on my phone. I run all Google Docs on mine.
okay, you use Google Docs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the public open?
Yeah.
You don't pay a
I
subscription?
don't pay a subscription to that.
Okay, this would be a subscription rate that would be supported by Town Web. Now, in order for us to move to that, they will aid and assist all their current customers who are gonna migrate away from Rackspace into the Workspace environment. Now, the kicker here is, right now, we have what we call Cloud Drive as a part of Rackspace.
Mhm.
You would have Google Drive instead,
Mhm.
but it would be a lockdown access. In other words, it's not going to be a public access thing. And they would still provide the archiving. They will help migrate our email. 2 years ago, we migrated from one version of email on Rackspace to another. And that migration cost us 2 weeks of no email access. which was a real challenge. However, they claim, and I talked to, the people at Town Web, that's not the way it's gonna be. We'll still migrate you, but then we'll support you all the way down the path. So my proposal here is that we add the capability to get the office type environment as a part of what we do with our town email, the archiving, and all the Google Workspace stuff at that $90 a month.
Is our email going to change? You were looking at a .gov versus a dot.
It's not going to change. Our email will still remain Forestville Town, or it would like chair@forestvilletown.wi.gov. In addition, there's also the ability for them to help us move from our .com website address to a .wi.gov address. I don't have that one in front of you yet, because there are still, that's handled, we set that up through the Department of Administration at the behest of the Elections Commission, and we got paid something to move into that. We already have the domain of forestvilletown.wi.gov in place for the state of Wisconsin. To move our website over to that domain will require coordination between Town Web and the Department of Administration. And right at this juncture, I don't want to do that and add to the confusion that might present itself for Town Web if we choose to do this, to go into the workspace. Now, if we do go to the .wi.gov domain name for our website, then I would recommend that we also retain that $15 a year cost for forestvilletown.com, so that nobody else can go out there and spoof our
Yes.
website.
Would agree.
But that's a separate step. And that's something that would occur probably after the first of the year. I would like to get this done, if we're going to do it now before the end of the year. Rack space has been nothing but a problem for everybody. So,
Well, I'll make a motion to go ahead and move forward with this Google service.
I'll second
As
that.
we have it written.
okay,
So I have a motion to move forward with the email service in Google Workspace. As written on this paper. And I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, it will carry.
maybe too much of an explanation, but I feel that that's necessary to understand this. This stuff is not simple. Thank you.
Yep. Hopefully they get better and easier for everybody.
I think it will. I don't know if, have you worked with Google Docs or Sheets?
Our son Devin does for a long time with a lot of things, but
That's all he does, probably.
we use 365 for everything.
Well, yeah,
But as far as, and then our domain, GoDaddy.
Yeah.
that we use for,
right. But the domain costs are not a lot of money. I mean,
you know,
what's expensive is the website maintenance and that. type of
Yeah.
thing.
yeah.
Okay,
Payment of bills.
have we got some?
We've got bills.
We've got those.
The top one, the top check that she has there is not on my paperwork, because she
Oh,
just
yeah.
wrote that today.
Which is this up?
Yes,
That's for the
Oh, that's
art.
it.
oh,
So,
that was a 300.
Yes.
326.
Yes.
Yes. uh-huh,
Oh, yeah.
That was for the cabinet. to give
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Yes, she wrote that after I
Yeah.
ran my paperwork. too.
No,
That's
see,
what you can pass me.
yeah,
I've
Kevin
seen
already
them
saw
all.
already.
I've seen them all.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
what
see,
you're
we
saying?
got
Right.
$1,200 for doing the cabinet
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and, but we only spend
We still have
800
Yeah.
something, so we have to return.
Right here.
We don't need them.
No, I forgot to take them out of here.
Now, what part of this thing did the sidewalk thing that we put in, did we get a grant from?
Right, so what happened is,
2,500, yeah.
right, we got $2,500 from from the, I was gonna say parks, but it's not parks. it's,
Destination Door County.
Right.
Destination
for
Door
the-
County, yeah.
For the tax for the Airbnbs. and
Room,
things of this
room
nature.
tax.
Right. Which was awesome.
Mhm.
Are we paying only? Oh, there you go. Yeah. See, that's the sanitary district thing.
Mhm, mhm.
Uh, This, yeah,
Oh,
Roy is doing lots of that. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, he's putting a lot of time in there.
Which one was that? That's the Towns Association thing.
Mhm, mhm.
And this was the,
boy.
You know what I did with that? And I moved the checks to US Treasury,
That's
put
like,
it in there. And then for the one for
no, there's
the
one.
cemetery. And I went to print one for
Oh,
the
this
I
cemetery.
always like,
And
like,
then
that's it, too.
I looked, the other one wasn't there,
So
so
I'm putting those in.
put it in
Your guys
again,
can give me
and I
cuts of
printed
it.
it.
Yeah,
Well, printed as check number 18. And instead of 19, and I had deleted
Also,
18,
this is our tax.
so I was off 4 checks by the number,
come
so
on.
Yep.
the amount is there. And I went to change a check number and I could not
No, you
change it.
can't change it. Once it's printed, you can't change it.
Oh, okay,
No.
Yeah, he's doing a nice
So
job.
then-
Cemetery cutting
then I
grass.
had the pass,
I know where your
Pass
critters are
signs.
going.
Yep.
so I thought, oh,
They
I'll just delete
don't
that
see
one,
them
put
down
that
there,
one there. That didn't work. I thought, oh, yeah,
I know
that's right.
someone's been taking.
So I deleted the
crushed
next one to
pepper,
make up for the one that
ghost
was
pepper,
deleted.
Brush it up, and put it in the
Oh,
hole.
mess.
Thank you.
Yeah,
good.
So
Thank
they-
you.
yeah, that's been
So
kind of
hopefully
handled.
it didn't,
I was kind of hoping.
now we're double check that.
Oh, this is our
It's all
sheriff.
natural.
Right.
Different.
Yep.
Just moves on to somebody else's spot. Go out in nature somewhere.
You know?
It's not here.
Just not here. Get away from us.
So I tried it on those gopher holes over on Maplewood Road and it actually worked. I'm like, oh, it's been working.
Mm. Oh, but this was the,
Oh,
that was
Nice.
nice.
yeah, ghost pepper. Got it at the farmer's market.
So is it dry or is it a wet pepper and then you press?
Did you dry it and then you
2
just
week
brush it up with the powder and then you just sprinkle that right on the end of the hole. Cause when they go in, it's on their feet and all of a sudden they're like.
We're gonna have to go through an appraisal process, aren't we?
Bad.
Thank
Yeah. But I was making my pepper jelly that one day and I was sitting there and it's like every time I cooked.
Lot of energy.
I'm like. You have to be going.
Ice
to
and
the
water,
face, and, oh my God, it's like tear gas. And I'm like, hey, this is perfect. I can.
Okay, well, here's the rest.
Yeah, go for it.
Now, all we gotta do is make sure Ruth passes them.
Yeah.
I make a motion, we pay the bills.
I second that.
All right, I have a motion to pay the bills as written and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, it will carry. Item number 17, announcements. Wisconsin Town Association Convention on October 22nd through the 24th in the
I got
Wisconsin
my,
Dells.
letter from the Towns Association acknowledging my.
Oh, okay.
thing.
Did you get yours, Kevin? Acknowledging you paid in?
I don't know,
I got a
I
letter.
got a card.
Did you get a letter in the mail, you mean, or email?
I don't remember. Maybe it was an email.
Yeah, I'm also going to
Probably
now.
Oh, you are?
I wasn't going to, but Amy,
Second.
Sackett is going and she asked me to go along and I said, well, I wasn't gonna go, but. maybe
Was
I
that for
will."
the, Towns Association? or-
Yes, yeah,
Down in Wisconsin Dells?
yeah,
Oh.
mhm.
I got a letter.
Okay, you did.
This is for the convention,
Okay,
the full convention registration.
oh, okay, I didn't get mine yet either. I didn't get that.
Did you send one in?
Mhm. Yeah, last month though.
$200?
Mhm.
Well, yes.
Yeah, they'll
register.
probably be coming because.
Yeah, I just got that.
And I'm also going to the small workshop September 27th in Green Bay, that's next week, and that has to do with budgeting and financial statements, and I wanna,
So that's getting ready for budgeting, because
yes,
we're gonna have
yes.
to be doing that.
Next month,
Next
we'll have
month,
to
yeah.
work on the budget. Mhm.
And I also got the letter from the Towns Association. I'm gonna go to that virtual thing on October the 6th,
Okay,
which is for because really the hot thing I'm after is the guide to legal issues involving the cemeteries.
okay,
And that type of thing. So they're also gonna give us some information on moving to help save dairy, communal or anaerobic digester systems.
mhm.
And they're gonna talk wireless, cell towers, small wireless facilities and other things. So that's the Towns Association, Town Law Conference.
Okay, now is there a charge for that?
Yeah, I think you already sent that in. Oh, that was on your credit card.
Credit card, okay, all right.
Oh, yeah, that's
Mhm.
$60.
Yeah,
I think I sent you that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
uh-huh.
So I've got that.
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
be attending that as well. Well, and then, I went to the Towns Association meeting. Door County Unit, the meeting, and, Health and Human Services gave Joe Kreuzbach gave a presentation on just exactly all the things they go through. Oh my heaven's sakes. So to that end, I contacted our county board chairman, or our county board
Send it in, that's gonna be in this week. Is that
supervisor,
Wisconsin?
Mr. Engelberg,
I thought I had sent it. in.
and suggested that they
October 6th is
really
gonna
dig
be
deep into this thing, because this is a significant amount of money and responsibility that they carry. And he started going through their areas of responsibility, and he did every one of these.
Just join.
Children, family services, behavioral health, economic support, aging disability resources, admin, court services, public health, all fall under his domain. And it's a significant
I
cost.
should go on.
And I don't know
I
that
would- if there was any
his statement made at that meeting was that not every county board supervisor has ever gone to that depth. But they did it for the County Association. I thought it was a great presentation. So that was a good meeting, and it went long, but it was an excellent meeting. And then, so to that end, she also asked me, we're going to be the host for the next
Next month, right?
Yes.
next meeting.
Mhm.
And that will be probably
November 6th.
November 16th. And so to that end, she gave a list of all those topics. So
Yeah,
she sent that to you.
Yeah, she sent that to me, and she said we should choose a topic and let her know, and she'll take care of it.
So I don't know. You know, we've got another month before we have to come
Right.
up with that. But it would be a good idea for us to look through this thing.
Mhm.
And maybe by then, we'll have an understanding, a better understanding of the broadband issue,
Mhm.
and that might be of interest. I don't know. They all always talk about it in any case.
Right.
So
Mhm.
I don't know if we come up with something we would like to see presented. We should look through that list. And see.
What the district attorney's office does and how local ordinances get enforced.
Well, that's.
That'd be a good one, maybe.
Good one, yeah. Where's that one?
That's page 5, I highlighted that one. The town rights in the right of way might be
Okay,
another.
there you go.
That's a good one.
You know what I mean? Just because of. Basically, I mean, yeah, the conversations that I've had with several.
So what else?
constituents.
What was that other one?
It's on the same page, it's up a little bit, town rights in the right of way.
And then the other one?
What the district attorney's office does and how the local ordinances get enforced.
Oh, there, okay.
Yeah.
And I can send her several, and she can, you know, in case someone who does the town right away can't be there or whatever.
Right, because they have to make, she has to make.
Yes, arrangements for the. Mhm.
Another one that I checked off was, legislative updates on items impacting town government. I didn't quite
What
know.
page is that?
That was page 3.
That's, there's,
What is that?
there's a whole bunch of things that are afoot in Madison. That I'm aware of. So you know. That would be a good one too, any one of those three.
Well, that's kind of what I highlighted. I did highlight grants, but then I start to think about it. You know, the thing about the grants and why the cities always get these, they have people who are hired just physically to do that because they got
Right,
the money.
Mhm.
Mhm.
There's no way any of our towns are gonna
I
hire
was
somebody
thinking- I
who
was
just
thinking maybe-
nonstop do that.
You know, there's free dog procedure. Yeah. One, yeah, those, any one of those three would be good to get out.
We have to put lunch on for that
Yeah.
also.
Yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
generally
On
they'll
that next
have,
month, yeah.
well, they'll
Yeah.
have sandwiches. They usually get, like little
Sub sandwiches or something.
sub sandwiches,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
variety of
Mhm.
chips, maybe some desserts,
Mhm.
and then beer,
Beverages, yeah.
beer, wine,
Mhm,
soda,
mhm.
whatever.
So does this rotate every year?
Every 3 months.
Every 3 months, they
to
go
every
alphabetically.
municipality, Alphabetically. Yeah. So it was Egg Harbor, now Forestville.
Mhm. Then probably Gardner.
Gardner will be next. Yeah. It's
So
right.
we tell them what we would like to have,
Mhm.
but then they will contact the people on who to come in here and do it.
Mhm.
Okay, I was interested in.
Is
Have you-
it, so I can send those three?
I did, I was at, by Mike's.
Claybank.
Claybank.
Oh, Claybank, yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
But I didn't know how it, that was my very
Yeah,
first one,
yeah.
so I,
This is, it's the Door County unit of the Wisconsin Towns Association.
I found it very interesting. to
Oh,
be
yeah,
honest with you.
oh, yeah.
And usually you have a couple from Wisconsin Towns Association that
Yep.
come and
And you'll
speak.
have Joel Kitchens, and
Yes,
you'll
uh-huh.
have,
Andre
Andre Jacques, and
Mhm.
you'll have
Yep.
maybe somebody from Ron Johnson's office.
Mhm, mhm,
So you'll get different things.
mhm.
They're always very informative.
So do we want just to give her those?
Yeah, why don't we give her those three and,
I can send it to her.
yeah, tell her those three are of interest and see what she can find out.
Okay,
I would agree with those, any one of them.
Mhm.
yeah,
And, there might be other towns that might have some interest in any one of these other topics too, that, they might say, oh, so-and-so wants to hear about this.
yeah.
Well, yeah, but this was her
You can
whole
always
list,
add. Mhm, yes.
and that's,
Uh-huh.
it's helpful to have one
Oh,
that
yes.
does that.
Uh-huh.
What's also helpful is that your printer actually prints all the pages instead of the third one. That's helpful too.
Good God. Yes, yes, yes.
All right, item number 18, all other matters as authorized by law.
Oh, I got an email on Saturday evening, and this Joe Wheeler would like an bartender's license for here in Maplewood. So I have his
Sierra.
papers, Sierra's, So I stopped there Sunday and picked up his paperwork, and I thought I'd better put it on the agenda.
Yeah,
So I have it here.
over there and-
So I just would need a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve Joseph Wheeler's bartender license for Sierra's Pub and Grill.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion to approve Joseph Wheeler's bartender license. All in favor,
All right.
Aye.
all opposed, hearing none, it'll pass. Anything else?
There
on
was
that?
this outreach meeting you sent us something on. What was, this is,
Which one was that?
local road improvement program.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
For,
Yeah.
DOT.
Right, right,
That just came yesterday or today?
correct.
Yeah,
So I'll be meeting with that tomorrow morning.
So
And
they're gonna have a recorded copy of this, so you can go here and link in and look at it after the fact as well.
What day is that on? I
The
can,
29th or the 19th,
Tomorrow.
tomorrow,
Mhm.
1 o'clock. And, but there's a YouTube link and they say, if you wanna go to the live event, test it ahead of time,
but it'll be
but it'll be
copied, so I can go to
available,
it
so then you can
afterward,
look
right?
afterwards, yeah.
That's what I'll end up doing, because I.
yeah, you'll be busy,
Today.
yeah.
Okay. And you're gonna be with,
In the morning, yes.
in the morning.
Okay, discussion, and items intended for future meetings. Is there anything?
Next month, we gotta do budgeting.
Budget next month, yeah.
And this was published in the Pulse. And they also, you sent out, or who sent this?
Oh, yeah, I have,
Department of Revenue,
yes,
that came from RIA, equalized valuation,
yes.
Mhm.
net new things, and then one page of it
Yeah,
that had listed for Forestville.
yes.
And 20% for personal property, 20%.
Yes, and I noticed that too, I was surprised.
Yeah, that's pretty high. And we also gonna have to deal with revaluation somewhere down the road here.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get the letter yet.
I am, because, you know, we're way up
Yeah.
there according to that.
And that I'm sure is at least 55,000 for reval, the cost. It was, I think the last time was 39, and that's 14 years ago or so.
Yeah, so we're
We
gonna
used to do
have
it every
to,
8 years for a while.
so we're gonna have to put that in our budget.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
Yeah, and we've been spending money that we couldn't be pretty tight.
Well, but your estimate of shared revenue is
Increase, yeah, 40-some thousand more.
40,000. I mean, we're
Well,
gonna
yes.
increase some costs,
Yes.
and I'm not sure where we're at on our road budget,
Yeah.
our road work budget. Are we gonna spend enough?
Yeah, oh, yes,
Okay,
yeah, there'll be
All right.
none.
because I don't wanna jeopardize our
Oh,
road
no,
aid.
no. I know Roy had told me, you just take the road aid and you have to spend
Add
15% to that.
above that.
Above that,
And that's what you need to spend,
right,
and that
and
includes
that's
all road work,
snow plowing.
Snow plowing,
labor,
yeah,
Ditch cutting.
ditch cutting, all that.
Yeah, that's gonna be way over.
Okay, just so we
Yeah,
don't
yes.
lose it,
uh-huh.
because
Oh,
our
yeah, I
towns
always watch
that
that.
don't get their money.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, item 20. Next town board meeting is Monday, October 16th, 2023 at 6:30 PM. I am looking for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion to adjourn in a second. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, it will carry.